What's up everyone, MK Tom Brady here. In this video, unfortunately, I have to weigh in on Shiva again. But it's really because more than ever, she has exposed not just the MK community, but NRS as a whole. So you see, Shiva, this weekend I've seen more complaining than ever. Shiva obviously won last night and she got into grand finals of a tournament on Friday. But of course, what you're seeing here is what everybody complained about over the weekends. Stomp, stomp, stomp. You heard Jackie players, Fujin players, Cetrion players. In fact, people who play top 5 were the most vocal in starting the Shiva riot over the weekend. Now, we're exposed because we have players who have called it like they see it, right? They'll say something like, this is dumb, but they also don't downplay their character as well. But what the majority of the community does is they downplay their top 5 characters and give you all the reasons why their character should stay the same. Jackie's fine, bro. Just adjust. You know, what can she do, right? Just block for 45 seconds. She can't do anything. I'm the one working here. These are the Jackie players, right? For over a year. Cetrion players, Fujin players, just pick another character, bro. Sometimes you gotta pick another character. All while they stay with their one character. Jokers and Liu Kangs, there are no saints in this either. But what I noticed was, over the weekend, it's people that play the top 5 that were making all the noise. Talking about nerfing Shiva because she's killing the hype by, this is hilarious, destroying the neutral. These characters that they play have been absolutely making a mockery of neutral since the day they were put in the game. Yet they campaign every day for their characters to stay the same, while we just have to put Shiva in the ground for the sake of the game, of course. You know, not for me. I don't want to keep playing the same character. Why don't they pick another character? Nope, they shouldn't have to. To them, Shiva should be nerfed. Why should I pick another character? Find a way to deal with it? Why should I do that? Well, I shouldn't have to do that. You should have to deal with me. I don't have to deal with you. And that's the kind of logic that they're using here, and that has trickled down. And even people who don't play these characters are also, as usual, in the Shiva riot. So the MK community is a little exposed here in the hypocrisy on their complaining here. But what's even more embarrassing is, what can Netherrealm possibly do about this, right? What can they do? Nerf Shiva? How? Nerf the Stomp? Because people will say, Tom, it's hits anywhere on the screen, it's unblockable, it's got tracking, it's delayable, and it has a crushing blow. I said crushing bro. And it's a default move. It's got a lot of things that people complain about, right? The problem is, what can Netherrealm do about it? You see, they nerf Shiva. They tried to nerf her in 2 ways here. For one, fireball stance. So forward 1 into fireball stance used to be uninterruptible. Same with forward 4-4. Now, if she does this, you can just interrupt her right out of it. This was a great neutral tool. Now, not so much. The other way is, it used to also combo by making the startup slower. Now, when forward 1 hits, they're able to block. Forward 4-4 hits, they're also able to block. So, a tool that was a great neutral tool is now, there is some significant nerfs to this. And of course, Netherrealm could choose the physical attack or the fireball. Naturally, they're going to nerf the projectile, because who thought that they would actually nerf something not a projectile first, right? We all know how that goes. We don't need to rehash it again. How they feel about zoning and keep away, etc. But that's pretty much obvious now, how they want the game to go. They're going to nerf any projectile type attack long before they're actually going to nerf something that's kind of ridiculous. So why should Shiva stay the same? Well, because if you nerf the ground pound, nerf the stomp, you have now nerfed her into the ground. To make stomp -1,000,000, remove its delay and just have long or short. No delay or just delay. So none of these intermediate timings. You pretty much put her in the ground, and she'll stay in the ground for the rest of the game. But if you do that, Shiva players will of course say, wait. What about Jackie? You put me in the ground, she's still leaping around, stealing her turn back for 45 seconds. What about Cetrion? What about Fujin, etc., etc.? Why are they still keeping their dirt? And then, Netherrealm, to be fair, if you nerf Shiva, you have to nerf the entire top 5. And then that kills a lot of the game, because then the game is even more watered down than it ever was. And it's going to be less enjoyable, and you're going to lose even more players. So, what can they do? They're bricked. They nerfed the wrong thing about Shiva, and now they cannot nerf her. If they nerf her, it makes them look bad if they do it without nerfing the top 5. If they do nerf her and the top 5, it also makes them look bad, because rather than nerf and buffing the power level up, getting rid of these banned moves like Scarlet's Killer Clot, etc., they would just much rather say, you know what, we'll just go ahead and nerf everybody down to Shao Kahn's level, and then the game will be about as boring as possible. In a lot of ways, Shiva is bricked. A lot of ways the community is exposed, as is, like I said, NRS is a little bit here. They're kind of at an impasse where the best thing they can do is leave everything as is, and sure, people will still keep complaining, but they certainly won't look as bad. Now, of course, they could always just do an overhaul and say, hey guys, we messed this up. They're going to do an overhaul of just the whole variation system, the way things are as far as default moves versus slotted moves, slot value, banned moves, restrictions. But I would say they're probably not. So the community looks really, really bad in this. And NRS bricked themselves in a manner which now they have Shiva exposing why they bricked her as a character. They really can't nerf her without then going back and just destroying the rest of the top tier accordingly as well. The game is in kind of a really bad state here, unfortunately, because of that. And I don't really know what they can do. I hope they do something. You know, that's why I say Shiva can't be nerfed or shouldn't be nerfed, because if they nerf her, it would destroy the game, because then I have to go back and nerf the top 5. And if they do nerf her and don't nerf the top 5, it still destroys the game, because why? So any character that comes along that challenges them, they just get nerfed. Meanwhile, Jackie's still leaping around, and Cetrion's still destroying neutral, and Fujin's still destroying neutral, etc. No. Ridiculous. So really, while I don't think anything should be touched, if you do touch it, you kind of got to touch it all. Which, like I said, doesn't look good. This is why I feel Shiva should not be touched, because I don't think she should, but she cannot be touched. And that's why. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. This is the last time I'm ever going to talk about Shiva, because I think really this video pretty much puts it all out there and exposes not just the hypocrisy of the NRS scene, but how NRS does things in-game as well. I fully expect Shiva to be nerfed to the ground and be dropped by everybody. Meanwhile, you'll still see the top 5 characters beating the stuffing out of you every chance you get. But I guess that's life here on the MK streets. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay tuned for more content.